Which night? Shi Lukong asked his wife sharply. She didn't hesitate before replying. The night we had the Christmas season party in this house. That same night you got drunk again after a very long time. I woke up in the morning and you were not on our matrimonial bed. Where did you sleep? What if I woke up early and left before you woke up? He asked defensively. She shook her head. I woke up at night and I was alone on the bed. Don't tell me you slept in the boys' quarters with the housemaid. I know you, my husband. Anytime you drink too much, you confuse every woman wearing a skirt for your wife. What are you insinuating? He queried angrily. She became more serious. When you drink, what scares me is that even if it's your daughter, you might still call her your wife. Even if it's a man wearing a wrapper, you will think it's me. Tell me the truth now. Are you responsible for Kiffin's pregnancy? It's better you speak now while the matter is still delicate and can be handled before it becomes public. I am not sure, he replied. What do you mean by you are not sure? She snapped. I didn't sleep in the boys' quarters with the housemaid, he said quickly. Then where did you spend that night? She pressed. I woke up in the morning inside my car. I must have mistaken it for our bedroom, he explained. And how do you expect me to believe that? She asked coldly. I left a bottle of beer in the car. You know the brand I drink, he added. But that bottle is no longer there since that day, she countered. Shi Lukong's wife remained skeptical, but after a long silence, she decided to give him the benefit of doubt, even though the doubt refused to leave her heart completely. The next day, Mainan visited the house. Yensai was still in a very bad mood and wasn't ready to relate with her at all. If not for the pressure from both his parents and hers, he would have avoided her completely. Yet, the issue of the pregnant housemaid was still hanging like an unanswered question. Bebs, Mainan finally spoke, trying to sound calm. I came all the way to spend time with you. But you've been absent-minded since I arrived. If not for my mom and yours, I wouldn't even be here. I'm not here to beg you to hang out with me. I'm only here to respect my mother's wishes. Yensai sighed. We are grown-ups. Our parents won't be the ones living together in the future. It will be us. Are you treating me this way because of the pregnant housemaid? She asked. Your mom even warned me. She said the problem with you isn't other girls with good standards, but a common housemaid. Now she's pregnant, and you haven't even opened your eyes to see clearly. You are right, Yensai replied calmly. She is a common housemaid, but it is that same commonness that makes her different from every other woman. Mainan was both curious and furious. What exactly do you like about a common housemaid? He looked at her and answered patiently. There is no pride in her. She is hard-working, simple, and easygoing. To be precise, she is well-educated. A woman who has reached a certain level in school but chooses to run errands and do house chores to earn a living simply because she doesn't want to live a fake and reckless life like many girls. Her age is full of virtue. How can you describe a pregnant maid as a virtuous woman? Mainan asked, shocked. I know her better than you do, he replied. So you will still love a girl who is pregnant for an unknown man? She asked. For now, I'm not complaining, Yensai said. You're the one complaining that I don't give you attention. But am I not right? She insisted. Sorry, he replied quietly. I have heard you. But deep inside, nothing hurt Yensai more than the thought of the pregnant housemaid. Despite everything, he was still deeply in love with her, and that feeling refused to go away. When Shi Lukong finally succeeded in proving to his wife that he never slept in the same room with the housemaid, the tension in the house reduced slightly. But the mystery was far from over. That night, instead of sleeping comfortably in his bedroom, he actually spent the night inside his car. He slumbered there like a stranger in his own compound, all because he wanted peace and evidence to clear his name. The following morning after the feast, Mrs. Lukong suddenly remembered that her husband had been searching everywhere for his wallet. He turned the room upside down, checked his pockets, his clothes, and even accused the housemaid of taking it. His frustration was obvious, and everyone noticed how disturbed he was. Later that same day, someone mentioned that the housemaid, Kiffin, slept in the boys' quarters that night. The same person also claimed to have seen Shilakong sleeping in the car while he, himself, was looking for a place to pass the night. That person was Uncle Kamla, Shilakong's junior brother. Early that morning, Shilakong walked to his car again, and to his surprise, he found his wallet lying on the floor just in front of the back seat. That discovery cleared him completely. It was now obvious that he had slept in the car that night and dropped the wallet unknowingly. Once it was proven beyond doubt that her husband was innocent, every accusation slowly began to shift direction. All fingers pointed at Uncle Kamla. His words, his movements, and the information he volunteered were now under serious scrutiny. Mrs. Lakong confronted her husband. How did your brother know that Kiffin slept in the boys' quarters? He even said he was looking for where to spend the night. You know Kamla. He likes young girls, and he doesn't respect boundaries, she said with concern. Shilakong frowned. Do you think my junior brother can descend that low? He asked, clearly disturbed by the thought. He might not do such a thing in his right senses, she replied. But when he drinks, I don't trust him. Shilakong sighed deeply. I will find out very soon, Mrs. Lakong added firmly. Without wasting time, she picked up her phone and called Kamla. She wanted to see him immediately, as the wife of a very influential man in the family. When she summoned someone, it meant the matter was serious. General Mama, I will be there tomorrow, Kamla replied on the phone. You have to stop calling me General Mama, she warned him. I cannot call you Madam. No, he said playfully. You are our general mother. In this family, no one comes to you with a serious issue and leaves without a solution. You are everyone's mama, he teased her. And despite the heavy situation, she smiled briefly. I have heard you, she said, and ended the call. That smile, however, was not because she was pleased. It was because she was now sure her husband was not responsible for Kiffin's pregnancy. The prime suspect was clearly Kamla. No one else fit the picture so perfectly. Meanwhile, Kiffin peeped through the window of the boys' quarters and saw Yensai laughing with Menon. The sight pierced her heart with jealousy and confusion. Everyone seemed happy while her own life was falling apart. The next morning, when the sun was already high and the heat unbearable, Kamla arrived. He walked straight to Mrs. Lakong without hesitation. General Mama, mother of all children, he greeted respectfully. Yue, she smiled faintly and teased him. You know that when I invite you this suddenly, it's either my house is already on fire or it is about to catch fire. Your house can never be on fire, General Mama, Kamla replied confidently. She asked him to sit and called Kiffin to bring drinks. As Kamla sipped his wine, Mrs. Lakong studied his face carefully, watching every expression. Then she asked casually, Did you not notice anything strange about the housemaid? Notice something? He asked, confused. She is pregnant, Mrs. Lakong said plainly. What, how, and by who? Kamla asked, visibly agitated. Mrs. Lakong leaned forward. There is only one person who can tell us who is responsible. The same person who said he saw my husband sleeping in the car. The same person who said Kiffin slept in the boys' quarters. The same person who said he was looking for where to spend the night during the Christmas season anniversary feast. And that same person was drunk that night. Kamla stood up abruptly. No, Mama, this is not me. You are trying to accuse me. Is that why you invited me here? Our people say, Shua Yilaya Washingtoner Tahvi Teng Vibzim, she said calmly. Switching briefly into Lamso, he shook his head. But I am not the one, he insisted. Then prove us wrong, she replied firmly. I am not responsible for her pregnancy, Kamla said. That night, when I went to sleep in the boys' quarters, I found every room locked. I rushed back to check if there was space in my brother's car and found him sleeping there. He paused suddenly, as if remembering something important. I think I know who slept in the boys' quarters with her. As for me, you can call and confirm. The friend I invited for the feast, I followed him to his place and spent the night there. When you saw me that morning, I had just returned. Mrs. Luckong narrowed her eyes. You are just trying to pull my legs. You slept in the same room with her. No, he replied sharply. She immediately dialed the friend's number. Excuse me, Fidelis. Yes, Ma, the voice answered. Do you know where Cumla spent the night during the Christmas season party? He slept at my place, madam. Are you sure? Yes, madam. He slept with me. Where was your wife? She asked. She traveled for the holidays with our son. Mrs. Luckong ended the call, deeply troubled. This is not possible, she muttered. Then she turned to Cumla. How did you know that Kiffin slept in the boys' quarters? As I said earlier, he replied, I remembered who must have slept in her room. Who and how did you know? She pressed. The reason I said she slept in the boys' quarters was because I saw her slippers at the door of the middle room. Then I saw another person's sandals beside them. You know the middle room with the wool carpet? She nodded slowly. I saw someone else's sandals lying next to Kiffin's slippers. That means another person slept in that same room with her that night. Mrs. Luckong's heart raced. Whose sandals did you see? The question hung heavily in the air. The sandals I saw lying beside the housemaid's slippers that morning belonged to a phony, the driver. Your husband's driver. I should have known, she exclaimed. At first, he used to sleep in my husband's car whenever he was around and didn't want to return to his house, especially when he was tired or had an early morning errand with my husband. Why do you think I call you the mother of all children? Cumla said with a smile. You treat everyone like family. She laughed lightly. You'd. Then she continued, her voice becoming serious again. Like I was saying, he is the one. Ever since my husband stopped him from sleeping in the car, he has been using that room anytime he has to spend the night here. He is responsible for her pregnancy. The driver is the one. Where is the driver now? Cumla asked. He traveled out of town with my husband. They'll be back in 2 days. So it's really him. Yes, they are in the same class, not driver and house girl. It's even better that he's not yet married. Once he returns, he will go and meet her people immediately. If it means paying his salary arrears for him, I will. Shame will not enter this family. Just call me Kiffin. With that, Cumla hurried off and called the housemaid. When the girl arrived, Cumla looked at her sternly and said, We've found who was in your room that night. Get ready, you will be his wife. There's no going back. Who, madam? The lady asked, her voice shaking. The driver, a phony. I can't marry a phony, she cried. I don't like him at all. I can't. You can't. Yes, madam. As if you have a choice, Cumla snapped. Leave my presence. You young people don't think before acting. And let me never hear that you're misbehaving again. The housemaid rushed out in tears and went straight to report everything to Yensai. Why are you tapping your foot like that? He asked when he noticed her restlessness. Mayanan had already left the room. She sat beside him and spoke with bitterness. It's your mother, she said. She says I must marry the driver. Which driver? A phony. Why? She said he was the one who was in my room during the Christmas season party. Must you marry him? Yensai asked quietly. He was clearly uncomfortable. Without saying much, he stood up and went straight to confront his mother. Mom, why are you forcing Kiffin to marry our driver? She must take responsibility for what happened, his mother replied firmly. Immediately your father and a phony return from their trip. I'll go with him to see her parents. He'll do the necessary introduction. After that, she follow him to his house. I won't dismiss him so he can take proper care of her. That's not fair, Yensai said. It was a mistake. Don't tell me you still want to be involved with a maid who is expecting a child. She fired back. Mom, let her give birth first. Then she can decide who she wants to marry. No child will be born under my roof without responsibility being taken, she said sharply. But we already know who the father is. Yensai said nothing more. His heart was heavy. The thought of Kiffin being forced into a marriage she didn't want broke him deeply. She had no say, and that hurt him even more. All he could do was wait for his father, and the driver to return, hoping his father's decision would change everything, or at least soften the situation. Everyone in the house was waiting for the driver and Shilakong to return home. The atmosphere felt heavy, like something big was about to happen. Mrs. Lakong Yacham paced around restlessly, her mind crowded with thoughts. She didn't want to bother her husband immediately about the new discovery, especially after his long trip. So she endured patiently, waiting for him to return before sharing the news and the decision she had already made in her heart. It felt like the longest wait of her life. Her worrying grew stronger by the hour, especially since the housemaid's stomach had started attracting public attention. Even though her traditional rite had not yet been done, neighbors were beginning to whisper, and curious eyes followed Kiffin wherever she went. Kiffin herself was deeply troubled. She often sat alone, lost in her thoughts. How much do they even pay me? She wondered bitterly. I am educated, even though I didn't finish university. I'm not even family to them, though they treated me well. Why should Madam force me to marry the man who took advantage of me just because I am pregnant? She sighed heavily and shook her head. No one takes a horse to the stream and forces it to drink water. As if I even had a choice, she murmured. I stayed humble because I had feelings for their son, Yensai. Now he feels so far away. Her heart ached as she continued thinking. How I wish he was the one responsible for the child in my womb. Even if it happened by chance, I would have been happy. His mother would be forcing me to marry him, and my heart would be jumping with joy. But why the driver? Someone I never even smiled at. She was lost in these painful thoughts, building impossible fantasies in her mind. Then suddenly, as if someone heard the silent wishes of her heart, a hand landed gently on her shoulder. The touch was soft and familiar. The scent that followed was one she loved, his perfume. It had always had a calming effect on her. She turned slowly and smiled at him. It was Yensai. Silence filled the air for a moment before he finally spoke. What are you doing outside all alone? She said nothing at first. Instead, she held his hand gently and brought it closer to her cheek, rubbing it softly. I was thinking about you, she whispered. You have to stop thinking about me, he said, even though his eyes betrayed him. He was struggling too. I can't stop thinking about you, Yensai, she replied quietly. You should worry about what you are carrying, he said gently. Your baby is important now. How I wish you were my baby's father, she said, her voice breaking. Wishes cannot always come true, Kiffin. Why, she asked. Because fate has its own way of doing things. Then let fate bring us together, she pleaded. He slowly released her hand, his face filled with pain. I have to go now, he said. He couldn't bear the hurt anymore. Stay with me a little longer, she begged. My mother will not be pleased if she finds us together, he replied. With that, he walked away, leaving her standing alone where he met her. Tears welled up in her eyes. What existed between the housemaid and the master's son was pure love. It was genuine, innocent, and had been growing quietly from the very beginning. As evening fell, a loud honk sounded at the gate. The sound and confidence of the movement made it clear. The master of the house was back. The driver drove in boldly, without fear or hesitation. Mrs. Lacombe rushed outside and hugged her husband warmly. Welcome, honey. How was your trip? Hectic but not bad, he replied. Then he turned to the driver. "A phony." "Yes, sir. Remove all the things we brought and take the foodstuffs to the kitchen." Later, after he had rested, taken his bath and eaten dinner, Mrs. Luckham called the driver into their presence. "You sent for me, madam?" "Just let my driver rest," No, the husband pleaded. But she looked at him firmly. "I summoned him because there is a— What is it that can't wait till tomorrow?" he asked. She took a deep breath. "It's about Kiffin's pregnancy." What do you think will happen next? To be continued in episode 3. Please support us by subscribing, commenting, sharing and liking our stories. Please drop a positive review on my page. Please follow this channel for more interesting new episodes and stories.